Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of the Twine It Up challenge. I love this challenge. It is hosted by my dear friend Fanny over at Creations by Favi, and her co-host for this month is Jamie, the Crafty DIY guy. I love both of these crafters. They're my dear friends. Fanny is so creative, especially with the twine. She is just a twine wizard. That's what I call her. Look at these creations, guys. They're just amazing, stunning. And Jamie is another wonderful crafter. He is so talented. He is also an actor, if you didn't know. He is awesome. I'm going to have both of their channels linked in the description box down below, so go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and get started with the crafting. DIY number 1. For this project, I'm using this tin can, and I'm going to use this natural colored jute twine. First, I'm going to measure out the length, or actually the height of this tin can, and I'm going to cut the twine, double twine. So I'm going to hot glue it on top, and I'm going to do the same thing all the way around. So I cut out the doubled twine, and I'm hot gluing it on the top, letting the rest fall down. So like I said, I'm going to do that all the way around the top perimeter. Actually, that's the bottom, but for me now, it's on top of this tin can. Anyway, when I was completely done, I thought this is going to be enough, but no. I'm going to have to go ahead and hot glue another set of these in between each. That way, it's going to be... I'm going to have more twine to work with, and it's not going to be space in between later on when I start weaving it, and you will see that in just a minute. So you see over here, now everything looks nice and fuller. Now I'm going to take a piece of twine. Again, I'm going to double it up. So it's going to look like I have 2 strands of twine, and I'm going to hot glue the beginning under one of those twines that are hanging. And then I'm going to start weaving it. So literally I'm pulling the one that I just hot glued, and then one go up, one down, one up, one down. I'm actually doing it all this with 2 strands. So it goes 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down. And you see over here how it's starting to create pattern, like a basket pattern. This is how it looks like after 2 rows. Now, first I cut out a small piece of twine, and it lasts me only 2 rows, but then I cut out a longer piece that's way better. You don't have to stop many times. And I was just weaving and weaving, and it took me probably 45 minutes. I put on Friends, that's my favorite show, and I didn't even notice, honestly. I was just going and going, and it wasn't as bad at all. When I ran out of twine, I went ahead and hot glued the end of one, and then over here I'm hot gluing the beginning of the other one, pretty much at the same spot. So I'm just going to hot glue it, and I'm going to flip the one that I'm holding on the left hand on top, press it a little bit, and now we can continue weaving it. So it's not a big deal if you run out of material. You can just hot glue it and continue. Now, when I was done with this and I came to the end, actually at the rim of this tin can, I had to use a little bit of hot glue pretty much every once in a while, every flip that I made, because I didn't want it to unravel, and that's the end. So I wanted to make sure that stays nice and secured. So when I was done with all of this, I'm going to show you what I was left with. So this is how it looks like. Now everything is secure and nice and secure on top. So I'm going to cut off the excess, not completely. I will leave it maybe, I don't know, half an inch long. And that I'm going to flip inside, and I'm going to hot glue to the inside. Make sure when you're doing this or any of this with the twine, with the hot glue, to use protectors, because it will burn your hands. It will burn your fingers, and we don't want that. So you know me, I often work without protectors, but in this case, I had to use it. So this is how it looks like when everything was nice and secure inside, and I just burned the edges a little bit. Now I'm using this faux leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree in a camel color, I think, caramel color. And now I am just taking 2 strands and I'm going to hot glue them together, because one side is finished and one is not. So I wanted both sides to look nice and finished. And then I will actually hot glue this on my new created basket, tin basket. I wanted this to represent handles. So after I hot glued both sides and they're nice and secure, I'm gonna actually take 2 thumbtacks. I had this for a long time. They look kind of a bronze color, and I cut off the tips. So I'm gonna just hot glue them at the ends. And I'm gonna do exactly the same thing, create another handle on the other side. When I was done, this is how it looks like. Guys, I'm in love with this one. I think it's so beautiful. I can use it to display my pencils or my paintbrushes, or I can just use it as a vase like this with some greenery, and I think it looks so beautiful. If you would recreate this, you can certainly use any shape that you have. It doesn't have to be tin can. I think it will look beautiful in some square container to look like a real, square basket. But overall, this was such a fun project, and I absolutely love how it looks like. But I want to hear what you guys think about this one. If you guys are new to my channel, if you're coming from the playlist, welcome. I'm Jelena, stay-at-home mom of 2 kids. I love crafting, doing DIYs anytime I can. I love doing crafts on a budget. Everything that I create has to be on a budget. And I mostly create a rustic style DIYs, but I do sometimes create some modern farmhouse, and I really enjoy it. So if you guys like something like that, please watch my other videos, and hopefully you like them enough to subscribe. If you guys are on social media, I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Come look for me. I like to get to know my viewers. Just say hi to me. Also, I want to remind you that my regular upload times are Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes I participate in collaborations or challenges like today, and that times changes. DIY number 2. For this project, I'm going to be starting off with this wired jute twine. I got it at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut off one piece of it. And when you cut it off, it tries to unravel. The jute tries to unravel. So I just use a little bit of hot glue and twist it to make sure it stays in place. After that, I'm taking both ends and I'm twisting them a few times, and I'm that way kind of creating a loop. Now I'm pinching on the top and trying to create a leaf shape. Now I'm taking this skewer, cutting to the size of a little bit longer than this leaf. And then I'm going to take a jute twine. I'm going to hot glue the beginning of the jute twine at the top of the skewer. And I'm going to start wrapping all the way until the end of this bamboo skewer. When I was done with this, I'm going to hot glue this piece that I just created on my leaf, like all the way in the middle, like I'm showing over here. And then I'm going to wrap the twine on the bottom to create a stem. So I'm going to attach these 2 pieces together to create one piece. Okay, this is the frame. Now I'm going to start taking a jute twine, and I'm going to start creating this leaf. I saw this on another channel. I'm going to have it linked down in the description box. And she suggested that we should go ahead and kind of wrap it. Actually, that's how she did. Wrapped twine, both sides of twine. It's going to be easier to, control it and work with it. It started really good, but since my project was small compared to hers, I think for me it was better to not have it wrapped, and you'll see that in just a minute. So I'm hot gluing 2 ends of this twine, and I'm hot gluing it in the back. That's going to be the beginning. Now I'm taking one side of twine and pulling it through another side of the leaf, and I'm doing the same thing with another one, and then twist it in a back. So let's do it again. Right side of twine, pulling through the left side of the leaf, and then the opposite, left side of twine, pulling to the right side of the leaf, and then I'm gonna flip it in a back. So I'm gonna pull pull the left to the right and right to the left on the back of the leaf. I hope that makes sense. This is actually very simple. If you just look what I'm doing, it is very, very simple. So the important thing over here is just to keep going and to, kind of tie it pretty tight. That way it will keep in place. Now, when I came to the bottom part of this leaf, when it started going, down, I had to use a little bit of hot glue, make sure it's nice and secure. So I'll show you over here one more time. So I pull the right side over through the leaf to the left side, and I'm doing the same thing from the left side to the right side, and then I'm taking these two strands in the back and flip them, so switch them. That way everything stays nice and tight. Okay, so now that I'm at the end, I'm going to go ahead, flip it at the back, and I'm gonna hot glue the rest and cut off the excess, and that's one leaf. Now I created another one a little bit smaller with a longer stem, and I'm going to use the white cotton jute twine to create those lines on the leaves. So I'm doing the same thing. Now I hope you already realize what I'm doing. So I'm just, creating these lines. Like I said, it took me maybe a little bit to, when I started to figure out what I'm doing, but once you start, it's very, very easy. It is just simple. So if you see what I'm doing over here, you're gonna be able to do the same. It is very hard to explain, but if you watch it, it's easier. So after I was done with this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna hot glue it in the back to make sure everything is nice and secure. Now I have stem to finish. I'm gonna take the natural color jute twine, and I'm gonna just twist this all the way till the end, and now everything is nice and seamless. Okay, now that I'm done with this, I'm taking this frame. It is from Canvas, Dollar Tree Canvas. I used it previously, and I'm going to reuse it now. And I'm taking a cardboard, and I'm going to paint it with my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color. I wasn't really careful for everything to be perfect. I just wanted to make sure it is somewhat covered. So when everything was nice and dried, this cardboard kind of broke in a few pieces. So it looks like it has a shiplap lines that I really like that. So I'm going to hot glue it and attach it to this frame. And after I was done with this, this is how it turned out. It looks pretty cute. And now I'm going to just hot glue my two leaves onto it. If you are recreating this, you can certainly recreate it like I did in a smaller version. As an artwork, but also you can create the larger ones like the lady I'm gonna link down below. In her video, she created a larger ones, and they are in her vase, and I think it looks beautiful either way. This was such a nice use of twine, and I created a beautiful art piece. I'm very happy with this one. I want to hear what you think about this one. Okay guys, you maybe noticed I do have a nail polish. So I wanted to have nice nails while I'm doing my DIYs. And this one on my hand is actually 1 week old, doing all the housework and all the projects, and it did not chip at all. This company called Madame Glam sent me this nail kit. It is actually gel polish kit, and I wanted to try it, and I love it. I'm using actually this one step, which means you just use that one. You don't have to use top coat or base coat. You just use that one, and it's amazing. And I'm using this color over here, and I have a code for you, 30% off It's going to be in the description box if you want to try it for yourself. Now let's go ahead with DIY number 3. For this project, I'm using this plastic bowl that I have from the Dollar Tree and this jute in the color gray from the Dollar Tree. First, I wrapped my bowl into this saran wrap, and then I am taking the Mod Podge and I am going to cover it with one layer. And then I started wrapping this cotton all the way around. I wanted it to go in only one direction. So I didn't want to crisscross it. I just wanted it to go in one direction. So I just wrapped it until I was completely happy the way it looks like. And then I started adding another layer of Mod Podge on top. So I just smear it and dabbed it. I just wanted to make sure everything is nice and saturated. So after that, I left this to dry overnight. And after it was dried, this is how it looks like. Now it was time to take off the top. So I cut off the top with the scissors. So I cut through it and then I started slowly cutting around and around. I wanted actually to cut all the way to the rim and then be able to take off the, saran wrap and also the bowl that was there. So I worked really, really carefully because I knew that this is not going to be completely hard because the inside of this bowl is not, secured yet or actually glued with the Mod Podge. So after I was able to take everything off, this is how it looks like. So from the outside it's hard, but from the inside is not yet. So I went ahead and got a Mod Podge and I added one pretty good layer from the inside and I left that to dry. I also trimmed the top the way I wanted, and then when everything was completely dried, this is how it turned out. I absolutely love this mini bowl. Of course, you can create it in any size you want, any color you want, or you can actually mix colors as well. I think it will look so cute, but I think it's just a beautiful detail to add to any shelf. You can put it on a books or anywhere you want. I think it's so cute and oh my gosh, so easy to make. But I want to hear what you guys think. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it. And also if you're new, please subscribe. I would love to have you. Tell me which one of this was your favorite. Would you try to recreate any of these? And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Fanny and Jamie, for hosting this challenge. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.